IELTS, IELTS, IELTS. This is the only word that occupies our mind when we think of going abroad, isn't it? And the biggest hurdle is cracking this exam with the desired band score of 6.5 in IELTS Academic and band 7 in IELTS General. Sounds so simple, na? But trust me, for many of us, it actually isn't. Hey guys, I'm your host Pia, and today I shall be demystifying everything about IELTS exam. So starting with, what is IELTS? IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. This is a mandatory English proficiency exam for candidates aspiring to go abroad for studies or for settling down abroad there. This exam is categorized into 4 modules: listening, reading, writing and speaking. Also, there are 2 types of IELTS exam, IELTS Academic and IELTS General. IELTS Academic is given by students who are planning to go abroad for higher studies. The band score required for this exam is 6 to 6.5 depending upon the university you select. Whereas IELTS General is taken by candidates who are willing to settle down abroad by taking the permanent residency of the country. The band score required for this exam is 7. Therefore, let's quickly start with the first module, that is IELTS Reading. Reading test is a 60 minutes test which comprises of 3 sections with 40 questions. Students can come across following types of questions in the IELTS Reading test. First, fill in the blanks, flow chart, table completion, diagram labeling, complete the information, true, false, not given questions, match the headings, short answer questions and multiple choice questions. Remember, the students who are taking the exam for the first time should know the technique of skimming. If you are not pretty sure of what is skimming or how to do it properly, you can check my video on the technique of skimming. Link is given in the description below. Now moving ahead, it's time to understand how to attempt these questions properly. But before understanding the question types, it's good to check the word limit first. Now moving on to the first type of question, that is true, false and not given. This type of question is something tricky and confusing among students. But when you are about to attempt such questions, always look for the following. First is synonyms or antonyms, tenses, subject and noun. For example, here is the statement, Ashima borrowed a dress from Kritika. Now there are few statements that are given below. You have to figure out which statement says the above statement is true or false or not given. So now the first statement says Kritika lent a dress to Ashima. Second statement says Kritika will be lending footwear to Ashima, and the third statement says Kritika will be lending a dress to Ashima. When we have to figure out such things, first of all, we need to see in what tense they have written the below sentences. And once we figure out the tense forms, it is easier for us to recognize what is true, what is false and what is not given. And in these sentences, obviously now you people can also figure it out. This sentence is now written in the past tense. Ashima borrowed a dress from Kritika, so now Kritika lent a dress to Ashima. Now this is something which has already happened. So now this statement says this is true. And Kritika will be lending footwears to Ashima. They are talking about footwears. Now footwear thing is not mentioned in the above sentence. They are talking about the dress but they are not talking about the footwears. So this sentence is basically not given. You will not say false because they are talking about footwears over here. So this sentence, this line is basically not given. And moving on to the third line, Kritika will be lending a dress to Ashima. Now they are saying will be lending. So that means it is going to happen. So already thing has happened over here. They are talking about Ashima has borrowed a dress from Kritika. So now I think this is clear. So this sentence, this line is false. If you're facing difficulty in any of these question types, you can check my elaborated videos on these questions to get going easily. Second, matching headings. Before attempting such questions, it is recommended to skim the passage first and write reference words. Second, read first line and last line of the paragraph and check the headings. Generally, what we do is we first read the question and then we skip and then we jump onto the passage to find the appropriate answer to our question. But generally, we do not have to do this. So you have to keep in mind, first of all, you have to read the passage carefully, write reference words of the same thing, and after that, then you go on to the question and figure out what is the appropriate heading that matches the passage. Third, complete the information. In such questions, you are given a passage wherein you have to mention the paragraph number. Fourth point, table completion. They are the most simple questions wherein you have to look at the passage first and then find the answers to the blanks given in the table. Don't forget to check on the word limit. Fifth, flowcharts. Flowcharts are also easy to answer. They can be in triangle or cylindrical in shape. You can easily find answers to this type of questions, but unfortunately, you don't get to see them more often in your exam. Sixth, diagram labeling. Labeling of the diagrams are again simple, but they are the rarest questions that one can find in the exam. 7. Short answer questions, that is SAQs. Before attempting such questions, do check what the question says. The question can say no more than 2 words and or a number. No more than 3 words and or a number. And third can be no more than 3 words. Such questions are easy and scoring. 8. MCQs, that is multiple choice questions. Such type of questions require deep understanding of the passage. You can generally find such questions in section 3 of the IELTS reading exam. They are little time consuming and confusing for those who didn't read the passage carefully, so don't be amongst them. 9. Fill in the blanks. You may find fill in the blanks in any of the 3 sections. They are simple and scoring at the same time. I hope you might have got the deep insight of the IELTS reading questions clearly. Moving on to the last part of the test, that is penning down the answers onto the answer sheet. Generally, due to lack of time, students tend to make mistakes while writing down their answers in the answer sheet. It is recommended use pencil for paper-based tests so that in case you have to erase something, you can do it easily. Next, write your answers in the capital. Lastly, while writing down the answers in the answer sheet, don't forget to check the question number of which you are copying the answers. This is all about IELTS reading test format. For detailed video on each question type, don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe button. Till then, bye-bye.